The Missouri Attorney General tells school districts and health departments that they can no longer enforce COVID-19 procedures. I'm Bronte Sorotsky with how a local health department is planning for a possible new change in guidelines.
Plus, Joplin's Daybreak Rotary Club and Mercy Hospital team up to collect donations of medical supplies.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Local health departments and schools are working to understand what an order from Missouri's Attorney General means for them. This is KOAM News at 6. The order states that school districts and health departments must end all COVID-19 health orders effective immediately. KOAM's Bronte Sorotsky spoke with the Jasper and Newton County Health Departments and has more.
Missouri's Attorney General sent a letter stating that health departments could no longer enforce mask mandates, quarantine orders, or any other public health orders that are null and void under the judgment in a recent Cole County ruling relating to health orders.
We received a letter from the Attorney General on December 7th and told the health departments and schools also that enforcement and ordinances pertaining to COVID-19 were null and void.
This doesn't change too much right now in Newton County, as the health department and schools do not have those orders in place. What's changed so far is that close contacts who show no symptoms will still be allowed to engage in extracurriculars without a mask.
As long as you are symptom-free, not showing any symptoms, you can continue to go to school. You don't have to wear the mask. You can play in sports or do extracurricular activities with the school, whereas previously you could not.
Tony Moore with the Jasper County Health Department told us over the phone that the judge's ruling won't go into effect for over a week. They're taking this time to look at what this will mean for the health department and schools.
Also, we are kind of hoping to hear get some more input from Missouri Department of Health and Senior Services about their guidance as to how to go forward with this. And so we are looking at all kinds of sources of information at this point and just trying to determine what's the best direction to go with this to be in compliance with the court ruling, and also to try and improve the health of the public.
With the state guidance being so new, local health departments are working to see what they will and will no longer be able to do. In Jasper and Newton counties, Bronte Sorotsky, KOAM News.
The Newton County Health Department plans to send out guidelines to schools on Tuesday pending the department's board approval. Some of us getting some rain at the moment. Doug Heddy.
Yeah, we have some scattered showers and thunderstorms, not severe, but showers and thunderstorms which have been picking up mainly in southwestern Missouri and then kind of trailing back through northeastern Oklahoma over the past couple hours. And this is due to a very strong dry line that is pushing through. That is warm, dry air behind it and ahead of it warm, moist air. But what this is doing is really producing a monster severe weather event just to our east and continuing east through the overnight hours. But you can see these thunderstorms trailing back. So we do have some through the metro, Carthage, southeast side of Joplin. Pretty good cluster once you get down toward downstream and then into northeastern parts of Oklahoma. And then these extend south into Delaware County, so right along Grand Lake. So this is the dry line that will continue to push east. So if you live in southwestern Missouri, it may get a little loud as we go through the next couple hours. Not expecting much in the way of severe weather here, mainly east of the region, but a strong cold front rolling through tonight. That means much colder for the weekend. We'll look at that here in just a bit.
See you then. Thanks, Doug. Joplin Fire Department today put out this house fire at 18th and Sargent. Officials say everyone inside at the time of the fire made it out. It turns out there were no injuries. The Joplin Fire Marshal says it was an electrical fire. Missouri Governor Mike Parsons' office appointed 4 new members to a state board that oversees funeral homes after several previous members of the board were fired. Several funeral homes complained to the governor's office about previous members beefing up inspections after one crematory was found in such disrepair that body fluids were leaking onto the floor. Parsons' office says the firings were made because the members were on expiring terms and not because of the complaints. 3 men charged after a tourist boat sank on Table Rock Lake, killing 17 people. We'll find out next year whether they'll face a criminal trial. The 3 men, Kenneth McGee, Curtis Lanham, and Charles Botzel, were charged after the duck boat sank in 2018. After a 2-day preliminary hearing, the judge gave prosecutors until the end of this year to respond to defense attorneys' requests that the case be dismissed. The judge says he'll set a court date next year to announce his decision. A couple of Joplin organizations came together to donate medical supplies to rural clinics. Joplin's Daybreak Rotary collected old medical equipment from Mercy Hospital. That equipment will get new life by being donated to Medical Supplies Network International. That organization takes the equipment and distributes it to rural hospitals and clinics in need all around the globe.
And we've partnered with Joplin High School to sponsor an Interact Club, which is basically a high school Rotary group. And we try to get them involved in service organizations to pass that forward as they grow. And so we had a large group of students here helping us with this effort.
Medical Supplies Network International is a Tulsa-based organization founded by Rotary. State of Oklahoma is giving a grant to a Northeast Oklahoma behavioral health program. The Oklahoma Department of Mental Health and Substance Abuse Services is awarding a $125,000 grant to the ROCMND, Ottawa County Prevention Program. The grant is being used to address underage marijuana misuse in the county by participating in community outreach events. It was awarded based on a biannual survey of students that found Ottawa County has the 8th highest rate of misuse in the state. Coming up, friends, family, and colleagues say their final goodbyes to the late Senator from Kansas, Bob Dole. Plus, an area church gives some elementary students early Christmas gifts. Former Senator Bob Dole was remembered as a father, hero, and statesman today during a funeral service at the Washington National Cathedral. One of the Senate's longest-serving Republican leaders passed away Sunday at the age of 98. Christina Raffini reports from Washington.
The solemn funeral service for the late Senator Bob Dole included music and touching stories from colleagues who knew him best.
He never lost his sense of humor. He never lost his sense of integrity.
Former Kansas Senator Pat Roberts praised his mentor for never forgetting his roots.
A Kansas star who truly shined through difficulty.
President Biden spoke about Dole's ability to reach across the aisle and get things done.
He wanted government to work for folks like him who came up the hard way.
Dole's daughter, Robin, remembered her father as a dog lover and someone who always tried to do more for others.
He set a personal goal to help at least one person every day of his life.
She read from the farewell letter he wrote before his death.
I believe in the future of the United States of America. I love you, Dad, and I promise you will never walk alone.
The wounded Army veteran was also honored at the National World War II Memorial that he helped create.
He made the phone calls, he enlisted allies, all of us in the cause, and he raised the money. He did all but mix the concrete himself.
This weekend, Dole's home state will pay tribute to his life of public service. Christina Raffini, CBS News, Washington.
The late Senator Bob Dole will be buried at Arlington National Cemetery. Later, some early Christmas fun for Joplin Elementary students, courtesy of James River Church.
Plus, we're getting some thunderstorms rotating through right now, and then much colder temperatures working in. We're going to look at that coming up. Hey, it's turned out to be a mild, windy day for us today. Some scattered showers and thunderstorms late this morning into the early afternoon. Then additional ones have been popping up over the past few hours. We have a very strong, powerful cold front that is working into our northwestern counties. But ahead of it, we have a very strong dry line that is shifting through. So that separates the warm, moist air compared to the warm, dry air behind it. And usually we will get pretty good thunderstorms, which fire up right along that line. Most of the severe weather is going to be east of us tonight, but we are getting some pretty good thunderstorms rotating through. So here's I-49, here's Carthage, And then where I-49 and I-44 meet, just to the west of Sarcoxy, and then raining really good, especially from about downtown and then stretching south toward Diamond, just north of Neosho, and then back toward downstream Casino. This cell is rapidly moving off toward the east. It is a moderate to a strong thunderstorm. It is not a severe thunderstorm, but it is strengthening, so we're going to have to watch it as it pushes a little bit farther east. So here's the dry line. So if you imagine a line that goes straight south, so we're getting thunderstorms firing up right along this line. So we're looking northwestern parts of McDonald County. Again, moderate storm, and then just north of Southwest City, we can track a little bit farther south. You can see that line kind of curves back. So here's Grand Lake, southeast of Grand Lake. So all these storms are just strong storms. Most of the severe weather is going to be just east of the viewing area, but we are going to get these scattered storms as we go through the next few hours, mainly on the Missouri side. Here's the front. You can see the contrast to temperatures, and this is a strong cold front. We got quite a bit of snow across the northern plains. So you have the front right through here. Here's the dry line pushing through. So all the severe weather happens out at here as we go through the evening hours. So thankfully for us, we aren't going to have much in the way of severe weather. Unfortunately, just east of us, they are. But this system in the pattern will return February 13th, also about April 14th. So we're going to have to watch it as it will repeat and produce severe weather. Very windy for us today, strong southerly winds. All day long, of course, these are going to switch out of the northwest. You can see the rain, 7th and range line, quite a bit of thunder and lightning going on, still sitting at 70 south winds at about 15. Humidity is at 73%. We'll drop back through the 70s, 50s, 40s, down to about freezing later on tonight. As these thunderstorms continue to work through, look at the snow across the northern plains. You got the severe weather just to our east, but if we look out toward the west, not a lot going on. So that's our weather as we go into the weekend. Even though it's going to cool down, we're going to be calm. The front's going to bear on through. We'll drop back near freezing tonight. We'll get plenty of sunshine tomorrow, but we're only going to warm up right around 50 degrees. But that's where we should be for this time of the year. Back down near freezing for us tomorrow night. And then by Sunday, a little bit better as we go into the mid to upper 50s for highs. But overall, it looks pretty good over the weekend, at least sunshine returns. Scattered thunderstorms next hour or two on the Missouri side, and then we clear out. We do go back into the 70s next week, but more chances for thunderstorms by the middle of next week.
Unseasonably warm again next week.
Just wait. Wait about 8 or 9 days.
Oh, of course. Thanks, Doug. Hey, our annual Toy Box campaign is underway. Each year we ask for donations of toys or money to buy toys to give to area kids in need. All of your donations can stay in the county where you live. You can find a list of Toy Box drop-off locations on our website, KOAMnewsnow.com, or you can donate by phone. Make a financial donation during our Toy Box Tuesday telethon. The final one is going to be this next Tuesday on our noon, 5 p.m. and 6 p.m. newscast. Hope you'll join us then. Hey, Christmas came a bit early for some Joplin Elementary students. James River Church today handed out presents to nearly 1,200 students, teachers, and administrators in Joplin and Springfield. West Central Elementary in Joplin was among the 4 schools selected. Officials with the church brought not only gifts, but games, music, and a Christmas adventure.
They are so excited. They have loved every minute of it, jumping up and down, super excited. Their gifts have been amazing. Santa knew exactly what each one wanted. It's phenomenal.
James River Church has been handing out gifts like this for 23 years. They select the schools based on factors including the number of students enrolled in free and reduced lunch programs. Coming up in sports, it's semifinal night at the Carthage Boys Invitational, and we're going to hear from the voice of the Chiefs, Mitch Holtis, ahead of the team's game against the Raiders. Jacob Leonard has that and more next.
Today is day 2 of the 75th annual Carthage Boys Invitational Tournament. The Webb City Cardinals lost a heartbreaker on day 1 Thursday, falling to West Plains 50-48. The Cards try to rebound tonight, facing Leavenworth in the Constellation's semifinals. Caden Turner knocks down the 3. He gets 16 points, 10 boards tonight. Look at this. Trey Rhodes, no look to Dante Washington for 2. 9-0 run for Webb City to start the second. And the same duo, give and go. Washington puts it in. Cards trail by 1 at halftime. Washington again, though. Team high 23 points for him. Webb City starts to pull away. Dupree Jackson pokes it away here. He goes coast to coast. Webb City does close it out over Leavenworth, 59-51. On the championship side of the bracket, Carthage and Joplin both still alive. Carthage faces Ray-Pec in the semifinals here in about 35 minutes. After that, Joplin faces West Plains. The winners of the 2 games will play for the championship tomorrow. We'll have the latest from both games right here tonight at 10. The Kansas City Chiefs have now won 5 games in a row. Last week, the defense dominated in a 22-9 win over the Denver Broncos. This week, Chiefs remain at home for the 3rd straight game with a rivalry matchup against the Raiders. Like we do every Friday night, right now it's time to hear from the voice of the Chiefs, Mitch Holthus, in this week's Minute with Mitch.
The AFC March for the Chiefs continues this week, as does the 62-year history of the Chiefs-Raiders rivalry. It's been a rivalry of great players, great moments, and sometimes dominating performances. But arguably, there's been no player as dominant in this entire rivalry as Chiefs tight end Travis Kelce. Get this, in the past 7 Chiefs-Raiders games, Kelce has 781 receiving yards, the most receiving yards by any NFL player against any single foe in that span. You want more? Kelce's got almost 1,200 yards against the Raiders in 15 career games with 7 touchdowns. Put another face on the Mount Rushmore of great players in the Chiefs-Raiders rivalry. The biggest might be Travis Kelce on this Minute with Mitch. The Minute with Mitch is brought to you by Como Jewelry. Every day's game day, Como Jewelry, Pittsburgh, Joplin.
Sunday's game will start at noon right here on KOAM. The Chiefs are 9.5-point favorites. And that's it for sports. We're back with more news after this.
A Minute with Mitch
Can help.
Take time now to honor a local veteran. Jacob Bevins served in the U.S. Marine Corps from 2011 to 2015. The St. Paul, Kansas native was part of the 2nd Light Armored Reconnaissance Battalion and received an award as a gunner. And we salute Sergeant Jacob Bevins, a 4-state hero. Jordan Nobby joins us now with a look at what's coming up tonight on KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14.
Tonight at 9, former Senator Bob Dole remembered at Washington's National Cathedral today. Going to hear from some of today's speakers. Also, a look at when pandemics usually end. And researchers say a new eye drop could end up replacing reading glasses. That, of course, much more tonight. KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14.
Jordan, thanks. Look at this, a homecoming just in time for the holidays. 5 harbor seals were released back into their natural habitat in the Canadian province of British Columbia. The Vancouver Aquarium Marine Mammal Rescue Center released them at Iona Beach in Richmond. The seals were rescued as pups after they were separated from their mothers. Their names are Fish Crackers, Java, Gus, Ramen, and Memphis Jukin, because of course they are. Center volunteers fed them bottled milk and taught them how to swim and catch fish so they can survive on their own in the ocean. To be clear, not so they can hunt bottled milk in the ocean, but you know, those other things anyway.
All right.
Raining out there, Dan.
Yeah, we got some
seal weather
intense little storms. We got one storm that just went severe. This is in eastern Jasper County. So severe thunderstorm warning winds at 60. We're getting quarter-size hail. So these are intense little guys. They're quickly moving northeast. We won't have to worry about any storms here in about an hour. But we're going to watch these over the next hour or so. And then much cooler for the weekend, but sunshine returns. Highs right around 50 tomorrow.
Both of us, I see, sipping our hot tea.
Yeah, it's that time of the year. We got a good basketball game coming up tonight at 10. Girard hosting Galena. We'll have those highlights right here at 10.
See you back here at 10. Let's make it a great evening.
Salon service is provided.